Welcome to the Daily Bolster. Each day we welcome transformational executives to share their real-world experiences and practical advice about scaling yourself, your team, and your business.
Welcome to the Daily Bolster. I'm Matt Blumberg. I'm co-founder and CEO of Bolster, and I'm here today with Josh Silverman. Josh is the CEO of Etsy. He is leading the company as it builds a platform that empowers creative entrepreneurs around the world. Josh has over 2 decades of leadership experience, including growing consumer technology companies, scaling global marketplaces. He is a tremendous CEO, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him over the last 5 years or so. Josh, welcome to the Daily Bolster.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
So my question for you, one of the things that's always impressed me as you and I have kind of talked and shared stories and tips and techniques over the years, is how methodical you are about maximizing productivity and time, both you and your team. So I would love for you to share with our audience your kind of top 3 tips for that.
All right. So 3 tips. Focus on the vital few, come to meetings prepared and with a purpose, and team time is critical. So let's start with focus on the vital few. The objective is not to figure out the good ideas. The objective is to figure out the fewest, most important things you need to do in order to succeed. And that requires actually having a very clear definition of success. So that's start with a very clear definition of success, which often is harder than it sounds, and then figure out the very fewest battles you need to win the war. And that allows the entire team to double down with boldness and urgency on what we call the vital few versus the worthwhile many.
I love that framing. One of the things I know you and I have talked about is trying even to get it down to like 1, if it's possible. I know it's not always possible.
I find having one metric that matters more than every other metric is very important, because you can then say, what are the fewest things that are going to really move that metric in a very big way? If you have 10 success metrics that are all roughly equal, you're going to discover there's 4 or 5 initiatives for each of those. And before you know it, your organization's trying to do 40 or 50 things. Right. And that to us looks like the worthwhile many, not the vital few.
All right. Vital few. What's next?
Second is come to meetings prepared and with a purpose. So I spend hours every day preparing for tomorrow's meetings. My calendar, if you look at it, has large blocks of time that are blocked for pre-reads. It's essential that I get a pre-read before every single meeting. I need it 24 hours in advance. The reason is, for example, there's decision-making meetings, accountability meetings, or problem-solving and brainstorming meetings. Many of the meetings I'm asked to attend are decision-making meetings. I'm going to be asked to make a decision. And so I want to make sure I come into that meeting already having thought through what are the alternatives? What are my questions? Do we have the right points of view in the meeting? Is anyone missing from the meeting? What alternatives are in the marketplace that may not have been considered? And I ask all of those things in advance through asynchronous pre-reads. So by the time we're in the meeting, we're very, very focused together. Meeting time is expensive time. One thing you won't see at Etsy is folks reading a deck to each other. That is a giant waste of time.
Total waste of time. Yeah.
Walk into the meeting and the expectation is every single person has read the materials in advance, has thought about it, and we get straight into questions, discussion, and ultimately decisions.
I love that. And actually, I really like the upstream work that you do to define a type of meeting.
Yeah.
Right. Is it brainstorm? Is it decision, et cetera?
Yeah. And those 3 tend to be the 3 that I find.
Yeah, so say that again. It was brainstorm, decision, or
and accountability. A lot of meetings are accountability, right? It's a checkpoint. It's, are we on track?
Right.
And for those, the format of that meeting should really be red, yellow, green. You can eyeball the greens real fast and just spend your time on where are the roadblocks, where are the yellows and reds. Yeah. And even there, we don't spend time in our accountability meetings trying to solve the problems. We just identify that we have a problem and ask a team to come back with the solution.
Okay. What's number 3?
Number 3 is that team time is critical. When I inspected my calendar years ago, I noticed I was spending a lot of time in one-on-ones. You know, if you have 8 direct reports, you might spend 8 hours a week. That's a full day a week in one-on-ones with your direct reports. And when I looked at what I was doing in those one-on-ones, they were usually giving me updates on status, or they were asking me to make decisions. The status updates are often best served when the entire executive team can hear that together. And decisions are usually best made with, more points of view in the room. It's rare that sometimes, but most of the time, there should be more than just one direct report's voice when making a decision. And so I now do far fewer one-on-ones and spend more time collectively as an executive team. We meet 3 times a week for relatively light touch points, but where we go through progress, problems, and plans, very quickly lightning round around the table where we give each other updates. And I find that the collective benefit of all of us talking together is way better than one-on-ones. And it frees up a lot of my time to not be in one-on-ones so that I'm available for the ad hoc meeting for things that come up during the course of the day or the week when my attention is more urgently needed.
That was not only great, that third one, but you buried in it one of my favorite tips, which is inspect your calendar.
Yeah.
Periodically, you actually have to download it into a spreadsheet and figure out where you're spending your time. Otherwise, you have no idea how to shape how you're spending your time.
Yeah. In fact, I'll often set, here's the priorities I need to accomplish over the course of the week or the quarter, and work with my assistant on a pie chart, a budget of how my time should be allocated. And if it's the same every quarter, something's probably wrong.
That's exactly what I do, and it's a great tip. Josh Silverman, this was like lots of bonus advice, but thank you so much for being here to talk about maximizing your productivity and your team's productivity.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.